So voters in Missouri approved what is known as Amendment 3, which enshrined reproductive rights in the Constitution. Now Republicans in the House there are introducing a constitutional amendment that would ban abortion. The new measure allows exceptions for medical emergencies, fetal anomalies, and for survivors of rape and incest within the first 12 weeks of gestation. Now, the vote passed 94 to 50 after a 4-hour debate. Well, man, let me tell you something. Democrat Rachel Proudly, representing Ferguson, was having none of it and just simply called these proposals ridiculous.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't know who we think we are to assume that the people did not know what they were voting for on the same day they voted for us. I suppose they knew what they were voting for when they voted for us, but I would beg to differ, given that I've seen some of you all throw back a few at night. I've heard some of you talk about Jesus on this floor and talk about a woman's hind parts down at the bar. Who do we think we are? I've heard some of you read out loud. Now all of a sudden we know what's best for the people. It's funny when we dilly-dally and choose when the people know best and when they can't. We use meritocracy so much in here, we think that that's actually how we got here. This is not a meritocracy. This is a popularity contest. Meritocracy is how those people who perform abortions got their job. I don't need you to sympathize with me. I need you to mind your business. I don't want sympathy. Leave me alone with for privacy until it's women. I want to get pregnant. I don't know if I have to ask the governor first, because obviously my vagina is not mine. It belongs to the state of Missouri, apparently. I am sick and tired of people who think a IUD is a landmine, telling me that the people I live by didn't understand what they were voting for. When some of us don't know the difference between a hysterectomy and a mastectomy. Is getting old and is getting tired. They knew enough to vote for you. We got to pay for people's penis pills. I wouldn't even be halfway amenable if we said that we were going to stop paying for abortions if y'all leave us alone. You think you're stopping abortions with these ridiculous bills? You're not. You're stopping safe, legal abortions. People are going to still have abortions. So if you want to be pro-life, let's try being pro-quality of life first. This is the same body who wants to demand senior citizens work so that they can get unemployment or disability or have to apply for jobs. What are we talking about here? We're so busy being dystopian, we do very little for quality of life. You want to do something for the children? Do something for those foster kids. Let's close down these so-called religious rants where they feeling on the children. Let's do that first. Stop making it seem like a woman's worth is just between our legs. For God's sake, goodness gracious. We just had a hearing talking about abortion where we would charge a victim of rape and incest with murder while her rapist would get less time for violating her human rights. And y'all have the nerve to sit here and talk about science and think the world is 2,000 years old. And y'all gonna tell me about science. The same people who say, I don't believe in pronouns. I is a pronoun. Meritocracy. Power is to the people, and there should be some humility around here when we sit here and talk about what people don't understand. The only thing that people don't understand is the way y'all flip when you get here, telling them that you would be their voice when you get here. And then you decide to do the will of the people who write you checks. That's all I have to say, Mr. Speaker, because I know that my party is going to read some of the testimony that the people weren't able to get when we heard this nonsense. The sixth iteration, this bill has more ups and downs than the bankhead bouncing you talking about has been vetted. Which version of it? It was slaw and trash then and it's slaw and trash now. And just no one understand, we're not going to stop. The will of the people is going to continue. And in the event the governor signs it, it'll be me outside with them clipboards getting the signatures again, like we did after y'all did this foolishness in 2019, where I had to sit and tell my colleague there is no such thing as consensual rape. But y'all know better. The people didn't know better. But consensual rape and calling rapists gentlemen. We're going to put it back on the ballot and we're going to overturn this again. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I mean, it's absolutely crazy, Derek, that the voters in Missouri go to the ballot, they approve a measure, and the Republicans come back and go, yeah, y'all know what the hell y'all doing, so we're going to actually push forth our own a law.
You know, first off, that sister read them their rights in the right way. But we know, Roland, that this is something that the Republicans playbook from the federal level down to the state level. You know, this is one of those, oops, my bad, I didn't know the stove was hot. Oops, my bad, I didn't know that this executive order was going to disrupt Harvard. Oops, we didn't know by taking out funding from USAID, hundreds of folks already died over in Congo, in Sudan. Oops, my bad. I didn't know that these are the people that are managing our warheads. Oops, right? This is just crazy, Roland. This is like the horrible Hollywood film that we keep watching these Republicans. We got to call them out at all levels of government because they continue to do these things and they don't think that we're going to call them out on it, right? I watched another example of a sister by the name of Jasmine Crockett. And I was watching C-SPAN, Roland, yesterday, and she called them out. How dare you going to talk about you all want to go after law and you got a 34 convicted felon president? How are you not going to bring these citizens back from El Salvador? This goes more beyond just saying oops. And so I appreciate that sister laying it out. Typically, as you well know, Roland, we don't often use words like vagina in the chamber. We don't typically, right? But we gotta, goes beyond just decorum. This goes beyond just diplomacy. We gotta hit them where they are and make it real. And I appreciate she was straight with no chaser on this one.
I just don't understand, Matt, what's the whole point of there being a constitutional amendment that voters voted on and passed overwhelmingly, and then you come back and propose a constitutional amendment to undo what the voters literally just did in November?
Because there's no risk. There's no risk. There's no risk of an immediate recall. There's no risk of the voters remembering long enough to vote you out next time you come up for the next cycle. There's no risk. I mean, we talk about this on this show all the time. Representative politics, where the representatives are doing whatever keeps them in politics and not serving the people. I mean, that's crazy, right? It's a crazy idea. It would make more strategic sense if there had not been a vote by the people at large on this, and some Republican just, recommended this constitutional amendment. But to your point, they are literally having to undo what the people have already said they wanted. So, like with all the crises we talk about on this show, this is a crisis of representative democracy, representative government. What is the point of having somebody go to the state house in Jefferson to allegedly vote on your behalf or vote in your interest if you can express your interest via a direct referendum and they can say, kick rocks, we don't care what you want? I mean, that's all this is. And that's what you see in state houses across the country, especially in places like Texas and in Missouri, but particularly in places like Texas, right? Where these crazies go to Austin, they go to my hometown right there in the state legislature and say, we don't care what the people want. We're going to do what we think makes sense, especially when, you know, you've got the ideology of this Republican Party who's attacking everything, and not only attacking everything, but telling people that they are going to implement whatever they, meaning the politicians, think is best as compared to what the people themselves say. So this is a huge affront to the entire process. This is another thing indicative of we don't care how the process is supposed to work. We're going to do whatever we want to do. And it's disgusting. It's particularly disgusting because if you truly believe in the way this process is supposed to work, then you can't be like that House rep from Branson, who I think is the main person behind this, who's talking about all of the religious underpinnings for why he's doing what he's doing, saying, you know, I'm a biblical such and such representative. I mean, that's great for you at home, but that is not how government is supposed to work. You aren't supposed to be strong arming the will of the people because of your own ideological or religious or personal beliefs. And that's what you're seeing here. It's these politicians supplanting what they want over the will of the people who have, you know, demonstrably spoken in response to that recent election. That's all it is. They don't care, and there's no risk for not caring.
But Michael, this is what Republicans do. We saw that they do this exact same thing when it came to a redistricting commission in Michigan and Ohio. We saw the same thing happen in Utah as well. And so whenever we see voters go to the polls, we see Republicans trying to undo what the voters just did.
Absolutely. I call Republicans the baby-age kids of politics because they don't die, they multiply. They keep coming back over and over again. They keep trying to repeal, overturn. They don't stop. They don't give up. This is what they do. And what they're pushing basically is white Christian nationalism. This is what this is. This is white Christian nationalism, and they're trying to grow the white population as well. OK, and this is connected to what the story you just did either yesterday or the day before, Roland, with Donald Trump floating $5,000 for new mothers, expected mothers, things like this, targeting white women, white college age women, things like this, so they can expand their population. And that was State Representative Brian Seitz, SEITZ, that Matt was referencing. And Brian Seitz said, I make decisions from a biblical worldview. Well, the United States is not a theocracy. Maybe you should go to the part of the world where the Bible took place. This is not a theocracy. The government doesn't operate based upon the Bible. That's all right in church. That's all right in home. But you can't. But these are the same people who will cut funding for children, for the poor, cut WIC payments, things like this. They'll cut that, but then claim to be Christians. OK, so. This is outlined in Project 2025. This is white Christian nationalism that we're seeing unfold. So this is something that we have to fight.
Here at Sage and Elm, it's a plant thing. Everything is made by hand from plants, from our salves to our soaps, our lotions, our oils. Come shop our over 400 products made by hand from plants just for you, because you deserve the best.
Did you know that the Washington Monument is based upon an ancient African structure called a Tekken that comes from the mythology of Asar, Arset, and Heru, who the Greeks called Osiris, Isis, and Horus? Did you know that the panther deity Bast in the movie Black Panther and Wakanda Forever comes from an ancient African deity, a Neter, in ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, called Bastet? Did you know that there were 17 pyramids found buried underneath Egypt around 2011? Also, the city of Memphis, Tennessee. What's the relationship between Memphis, Tennessee and Memphis in ancient Egypt? I'm historian and national political commentator Michael Imhotep. Be sure to register for my new 12-week online history course, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. Kemet is one of the original names for Egypt. We deal with thousands of years of history and what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. Did you know that the word Wakanda is a real word? We find it in the Kikongo language, which is a Bantu language, but we also find it in the Omaha Ponca and Sioux Indian Native American languages. My class starts up Saturday, March 1st, 2025, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a 12-week online history course. We do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. We do with thousands of years of history and what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. When we talk about the transatlantic slave trade, we can't start our studying of the history in 1619 in Hampton, Virginia, or in Jamestown. We can't start in 1441 with the transatlantic slave trade starting with the Portuguese. We have to deal with thousands of years of history that leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. We'll deal with the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors, who take the teachings from the Nile Valley region of Africa into Europe, and this is what brings Europe out of the Dark Ages. We'll talk about ancient African empires, whether we deal with ancient Nubia, whether we deal with Kush, Kemet, Mali, Songhai, Ghana. This is a 12-week online history course. We deal with 80 to 100 articles. There are 200 slides that I show you in the class. There are video clips. There are 15 books that we reference. You don't have to buy any of the books to follow along in class. It's a very visual class, so we show you all that information right on the screen. The class is PG-13 as well, so you can use this with your children. Download my lesson plan from my website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Register right now. Right now is correct strong behaviors, not over till we win. Wakanda forever. AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. We'll see you in class. Peace.
Is your child struggling with reading, writing, learning loss, and a culturally irrelevant curriculum? Do you want your child to be outstanding at reading and writing and also take pride in their culture? Then you want Reading Revolution Online. Reading Revolution Online is a web-based reading support program. We serve scholars in grades K through 8, and through our innovative approach, we help them build reading confidence and cultural identity development, equipping them for success in school and life. They learn about Black heroes and sheroes through captioned videos, reading selections, and other activities. Reading Revolution Online is an experience for the whole family. Do it for the culture. Go to readingrevolution.org and get your membership today.
Here at Sage and Elm, it's a plant thing. Everything is made by hand from plants, from our salves to our soaps, our lotions, our oils. Come shop our